What's up, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to access the error codes on your Daikin mini split system. If you have a blue flashing ring here with your thermostat or controller set to the on position with cooling on and you have nothing happening, this video is for you, so stay tuned. The first thing you guys can try is to cycle power via your remote control. So I just turned it off, back on, set to 64. Fans on almost full speed with cooling enabled, but same thing is happening. Your next step here is going to be to locate your cancel button. On this remote here, it has this slide down feature, and there's our cancel button, bottom left corner. So you're going to hit it once, and then press and hold, and aim this at your evaporator. So we're pressing and holding cancel. Sometimes it takes a second here to register, but there we go. We have double zeros flashing. Now that we've accessed our troubleshooting menu on our remote control, all you're going to do is continue to press cancel one at a time and listen for a long beep. I'll show you now. Did you guys hear that? So our code on this unit here is L5. If your code's not an L5, which it's likely not, you can cycle through the rest of the errors just by pressing cancel one at a time, and I'll show you now. So we have a U4, L5 was our long beep, so that's our current issue. E6, H6, H0, A6, and so forth and so on. Just continue to press cancel one at a time until you hear that long beep. Next, what you're going to want to do is download the Daikin Tech Hub app. It's a free download. All you have to do is sign up for an account, or you can sign in as a guest user. Okay guys, so once you have the app downloaded, it looks like this in the top left corner, Daikin Tech Hub. We're going to open this up. Now, I'm already signed in. I have an account created. You guys can do that as well, or you can sign up as a guest. The features that it offers are identical. The next step you're going to do is you're going to go down here in the bottom left corner where it says error codes. We're going to open this up. We're going to search for our code that we found on our remote control. There's three options here that came up. They're for different types of systems. So we don't have an Altherma hydronic outdoor unit. We do not have a VRV. We do, however, have a mini/multi outdoor unit, which is like a mini split. So we're going to open this up. And you'll see here, it'll give you a description of what happened, the product category, method of detection. It's telling you what the machine picked up. Conditions will tell you everything here you need to know. Causes, tech tips as well is very useful, and then documents here. So if we went to our PDF chart, which is at the very bottom, you can actually skim through this troubleshooting diagram here. So we could start from the top. Stop valves fully open. No would be fully open stop valves. All those are the valves on your condensing unit outside. Those should always be open anyways. Nobody would close those. The only time they would be is if whoever installed it for you didn't open up those valves, but that's highly unlikely. So we go to our next step here, turn off the power and turn it on again to get system started, see if the same error occurs. So yes, no, you can follow this chart all the way down. If it gets more technical, telling you that check the inverter, check the compressor, like I said before, under documents here, if you have any doubt, it will give you a walkthrough of how to check that compressor. Some other very common error codes that any of you residential homeowners will encounter. The most popular ones are a U4. So we have U4 here, and we have a mini multi outdoor. We can open this up. So this here is generally a communication error. So this would be a common one you'd see. If you have a condensate pump wired in and that pump has failed, it will generate a code usually. Or if the unit was miswired, which is unlikely again. The condensate pump is usually the trigger for a U4. And another popular code that you guys will see is a U0. These are probably the two most popular ones here. So we'll open our mini multi, and this would indicate a leak in your system somewhere. So at least you guys would have a little bit of knowledge ahead of time. Not necessarily you could fix it yourself, but you could at least save the troubleshooting process of it and give your contractor a heads up on that. It'd probably save you some money in the long run too. So this app here is super useful. It literally will give you every single error code you could ever encounter. I strongly recommend that you download this, and I hope some of you homeowners can actually benefit from this. So according to our troubleshooting chart, our first step here is going to be to make sure our stop valves are open. So what they mean by that are these service valves on the unit here, which will shut off flow from the condenser to the evaporator. I know these are fully open. As you can see, they're all the way back seated here. If they were deeper in and threaded forward, we would know that they were actually closed, which they're not. So we're good there. And then our next step on our flow chart is to actually cycle power. So you guys can do this from a disconnect outside or a breaker in your house if you know where it is. So we're gonna shut the power off, fire it back on, and we'll go check our indoor unit. Okay, we're back in our space now. Let's turn the power on with our remote. And that appears to have cleared our flashing error light on our unit. So we're gonna sit around, make sure this thing comes on, and we'll go outside, check our refrigerant levels, running pressures, and we'll check our voltage too, just to be safe. All right, we've removed our side cover here for our unit. It's up and running as we speak, but let's double check our voltage here. Cool. So we have 200.3 volts, which is good. That's within our operating range. Next, we'll check our running pressures, and I'm probably gonna sum this up to a power failure they had here last week throughout the building. It might have generated that error code on the machine. All right, now we'll check our running pressures. We're gonna go through this service fitting right here. Unfortunately, on these units, pretty much all ductless split units, they don't use the standard 1/4-inch connection, which is how your manifold gauges usually come. You have to buy this stupid adapter, which is 5/16. But anyways, let's throw these on. We'll double check our pressures, and that'll probably be a wrap. Maybe I'll show you guys how to navigate the app a little bit more after. All right, let's throw this hose on. It'll let her go. Nice, there we go. What are we running at here? We're running 150 PSI, 52-degree evaporator. Yeah, system's running well. Both our lines are sweating here, which is great. And by the way, if you homeowners are wondering why both pipes are insulated as opposed to just the bigger one of the two, like a traditional central air system, the reason being is the metering device, which essentially just is like an orifice, I guess you could say, which takes high pressure refrigerant and it goes through a small opening and it slows it right down. And that's what changes our pressures and temperatures in our system. Anyways, that's inside the machine here. In your standard central AC system, the metering device is indoors. So that's why you have to insulate both lines, because both of these pipes are cold and they both sweat, and you can lose efficiency if they're not insulated. And finally, another cool thing with this Daikin app is you can actually browse all their equipment, and depending on what you have at home, you could definitely find it here. So I don't know, in theory, let's say you had an FTX WVJU9. This is an indoor unit here. You can go through all the specs. You have your installation manuals, operation manuals, dimensional drawings. All the details on your unit would be here. So we have troubleshooting. We can browse our error codes through that. It will give you warranty as well. You can look up your product info. And yeah, guys, I mean, this is a super useful app, and I think it's very homeowner friendly. So if you guys learned something new today, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll be back with another video. Take care.